So the confirmation hearings to President Trump's cabinet is on their way, and if you haven't been keeping up with it, it's pretty much going exactly how you'd expect.
Our veterans organizations that will help our veterans get every damn thing that they deserve because they signed on the dotted line to keep us safe, just like.
The Democrats asking a lot of trivial bullshit questions that nobody cares about, doesn't have anything to do with anything. The reason they're doing that is because they know they can't stop it. They know they can't stop it, and they're trying to trip up Trump as much as they can. They're just getting started. These next 4 years, they're going to do everything they can, take any tiny little victory they can. So they know they can't stop like people like Pete Hegseth and Pam Bondi. So they're asking about Pete Hegseth like drinking, and are you going to be shotgunning beers on day one? Did you slap your wife today? It's like what are you talking about here? It's because they're like, hey, we can't get our way. Trump's going to be president. He's going to get his cabinet in there. JD Vance VP. Maybe we can at least smear these people. We can just, fake news on steroids like we've never seen before, smear their character, and they can, I guess they get their jollies that way. But Pete Hegseth handled himself very, very well. I wouldn't recommend watching it just because his nails on the chalkboard, especially with Gillibrand. Oh my God, your ears will start bleeding. But Pam Bondi really handled herself well. I wanted to play this one clip. It's a very long hearing, so I can't play the entire thing. But she really, first of all, Adam Schiff is a disgrace to this country. He is just an embarrassment. He shouldn't even be sitting in the Senate. The dude who said he had hardcore evidence that Trump was guilty for 4 years. I have the evidence right here. He had nothing. My biggest question for him would be, how the hell does that pencil neck hold up that watermelon head? Because that thing weighs like 200 pounds. But Pam Bondi puts him in his place. She handles him good.
Called for it publicly. You are aware of that, aren't you?
No one has asked me to investigate.
But the president has
We're
called,
also worried about Liz Cheney,
The
Senator.
president has
You know
called
what we
for
should
this.
be worried about?
Ms. Bondi,
the
please
crime rate
answer
in
my
California
questions.
right now
You
is
are aware,
through the roof.
Ms. Bondi,
Your robberies
Ms.
are
Bondi,
87% higher than the national average.
My question is this.
The first part of the video got cut off. He's asking, will you go after political opponents? That's never been done before with this current administration, right? And specifically asking, are you going to go after Liz Cheney?
That's what I
My
want to
question
be
is this.
focused on, Senator.
Do you have the power to say no to the
Attorney
president?
General.
And what you're suggesting today by your non-answer is you don't have the independence to say no to the president. So let me ask you a different question. It also requires you, if you're going to be a good attorney general, to be able to tell hard truths to the president. So my questions now are, can you tell hard truths
This guy
to the
talking about
president?
truth,
So
yeah.
let me start with an easy truth that you could speak to the president. Can you tell him that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election? Can you say that? Do you have the independence to say that? Do you have the gravitas, the stature, the intestinal fortitude to say, Donald Trump, you lost the 2020?
What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Hillary Clinton still says to this day the words, the 2016 election was stolen from me. She said Trump is an illegitimate president. And even if you think that's crazy, that's kooky, you don't believe that the Russians, hacked the voting machines or whatever she believes, she's still allowed to say it. That's her First Amendment right. Jimmy Carter, Amy Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, they've all used words like stolen election, rig election. The Democrats have objected to every single election for the past 2 decades. More than that, actually. And they can do that. That's their First Amendment right. They're allowed to do that. Like, Donald Trump doesn't think the 2020 election was fair. Who gives a shit? Like, well, I do think it was fair. Okay. You want a goddamn cookie? Like, what do you... who cares? There's people, there's left-wingers who think this election was fraudulent. They want to criminalize it. They want it to be illegal to question things. That's what it all comes down to. Will you tell Trump that he lost? Fucking faggot.
2020 election. Can you tell us that here today?
Senator, what I can tell you is I will never play politics. You're trying to engage me in a gotcha. I
No,
won't
I'm just
do it.
asking you a simple
I
question.
won't play
If you can
politics
speak truth
with any ongoing
to power.
investigation,
So let me ask you another.
like you did
let
leaking
me-
your
let me ask
colleague
you,
Devin Nunes's memo.
If you be able to review hundreds of cases
He
on day
did do
one,
that.
I will look at every file I am
Damn.
asked
of course you
to
won't.
look
So
at.
will you advise the
Hey,
president?
can I
will
answer
you-
the question?
Well, my question
I
is-
would have plenty of staff. You said, of course you want.
You'll be able to review
Listen,
hundreds
I'm not
of
going to
cases on the first day?
mislead this body nor you.
All right, let me ask another question. You don't want to answer that. Let me ask
You were
another question.
censured by
It will
Congress,
also-
Senator, for
it will
comments just
also-
like this that
it
are
will
so
also-
He
it will
was.
also be